it is difficult at the moment, and actually it's probably a good thing to bring up, because people are worried about vet care, and they're worried about sort of being able to get what they need, and we are doing what's necessary. Obviously we're not doing things that aren't necessary. We're not doing those emergency nail clips and anal glands.
No.
And we're not neutering just because people can't be bothered to deal with the season or whatever, but we're there to do whatever is needed. We are there to do urgent and emergencies, definitely, and we're still sort of getting asked to do quite a lot of things that aren't really as well. We're very, very busy, but we are there.
I was just reading a bit more about the 120 black-footed ferrets that have been vaccinated.
Oh yes.
To try to help with species conservation. So yeah, in Colorado, I think, because they're worried obviously that if mink can get it, and of course with the black-footed ferrets being so endangered.
Has there been anything more on that then? Because I know we mentioned this once before, but I was thinking, has there been an update on it?
No, just that. I mean, I haven't heard any more, but it has been found now in a wild mink in America, in a wild mink that was near to a commercial mink farm in Utah.
Oops.
So it's obviously got the potential to jump from humans certainly into mink. But if it brings about an end of mink farming, that will be one of the few good things the pandemic's done.
Yeah. Can't help but agree with that. Yeah.
No. Well, what worries me, I was chatting with Jill about this, Jill Betts, is that if a pathogen, if the mink farms provide the conditions for a pathogen to jump from us into mink, then there's the potential for it to go the other way. And the one virus that we know is incredibly good at jumping species is CD. And I think if CD got into humans, it would make COVID look like a walk in the park potentially.
Yeah.
But
so when you start thinking about it, it's quite scary. So I try not to be honest.
No.
I think there's going to be a lot of people sort of wanting vaccinations for their pets and wondering when we're going to get around to doing that. And at the end of the day, we are still, CD is canine distemper. At the end of the day, we're still trying to get the human population vaccinated. So we are nowhere near a vaccine for pets.
I think the black-footed ferrets are a very special case because they're so endangered, and if it and you know you'd be looking at a potential extinction. So obviously that's why it's been done there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got to take care of things like that. That is our duty.
Oh, definitely.
Enough damage. So it's worth saying as well. Actually, if you think you have it, don't go anywhere near your ferrets.
Yes, no, I mean, it's still worth saying again. We've discussed this a bit before and said about, you know, trying to self-isolate from your ferrets and get somebody else to do them and keep away from them. But it's worth saying again. So if you want to add anything to that, Catherine, please.
Well,
I just think it is, you know, it's very virulent in people and equally so with people to ferrets, I think. So we don't know 100% how easily it spreads. We know that there's it's not worth taking the risk. If you think you might have it, just don't go near them.
Well, I'm getting weekly tested. I'm getting tested weekly now, so because I'm going into work once a week, and the college has got all the testing set up. It's actually absolutely phenomenal what they've done. But they're calling for staff volunteers who've got time during the week to help with the testing. So I'll probably get involved with that.
Catherine, can you just quickly go into a little bit more detail about CD and ferrets? Just more for Debbie than anything, just a quick little aside. Because obviously she now knows what canine distemper is and she probably knows it from dogs. But
Yeah, so CD is canine distemper, which we actually don't very often see now, because there is a very effective vaccine for it. And obviously, being a dog disease, if dogs are sort of well vaccinated, if you've got most of your population vaccinated, and there's not very much of a I've lost the word.
Lucas?
There's not very many that are capable of carrying it.
You've got your herd immunity, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So that's helping to protect ferrets as well. We do use the canine vaccine for ferrets. That's the one thing that we vaccinate ferrets for in this country, other than rabies if they're going abroad. But canine distemper causes some horrible symptoms. It's called hard pad, so you get these kind of horrible foot lesions, facial lesions, so sort of crusty eyes, respiratory symptoms. It's horrible. When you see it, you know that you've got it, because they are very sick. They've got obvious respiratory symptoms, obvious crusty faces, sore feet, and it's very
it's horrid.
Well, yeah, it's not really treatable. So
that's it. I was going to say, from what I understand, it's potentially more treatable in dogs, but it's almost not treatable at all in ferrets. If they get it, that's pretty much it. From what have I got that right?
But the vaccine's extremely good, so
and I think that's
it. Dog license vaccine. It does work very well in ferret as well.
Yeah.
And that's what, obviously, because we have to have all of our ferrets, our own ferrets, obviously, are jabbed every 2 years, and all of the ferrets that come in have to be jabbed for canine distemper. We just don't open through the door if they haven't been.
No.
Sadly, that means some of the oldies or those who can't be vaccinated because of ill health, it does mean that we're missing out those and we can't help those. But until we can sort out a place where there's a quarantine area for those, we just can't chance it.
No,
Debbie's
protecting them as well.
Yes. Debbie says, is it just ferrets who are susceptible, or other pets as well? I think this refers back to COVID rather than CD. I think.
Right.
Debbie,
so
tell me if I'm wrong.
CD and COVID, probably just ferrets. COVID, potentially. Don't worry about it. Is the big message. Don't worry about it, because there have been a couple of things published over the last few months that have put the wind up people massively. Cats, there have been reports of people throwing their cats out of their flats in China because they think they're going to get COVID from them. There's been some horrible goings on because people think their pets are a risk. They aren't. We're probably more of a risk to them at the end of the day. But I think there is virtually no risk from pets. They don't need to be vaccinated, certainly not at the moment. We're not aware of it sort of jumping between. We do know that there have been a couple of cats that it's been isolated from, but what's the full story with it? Has it just been that they've been smooched by an owner with COVID and it's been isolated from them because the owner was in contact with them? Do we know that it's actually affected them? When they spread it? We don't know enough at the moment, but definitely don't panic about it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, I think there's enough myths going around, and
definitely, and people tend to panic about the slightest thing. Your risk to them that worried you. I know, and I think we have to be careful if we are sick, certainly with our ferrets, but I think I would just exercise normal hygiene with your other pets, to be honest. I mean, I smooch mine. Maybe I wouldn't be smooching them if I had COVID. I might be a little bit more careful with them, but I'm not going to no contact. They're just going to be treated pretty much as normal. I won't be letting Charles snog me. Doesn't do that very often anyway. He does every so often manage to sneak a tongue in when you're not expecting it. But